Well, welcome to the 700 Club. Let's go back a few months. Irresponsible. And that's what President Biden called Donald Trump's handling of classified documents. Classified material has since been found in Biden's former private office in Washington and at his home in Delaware. Now the president himself is facing a special counsel investigation.
One major concern is why the documents were discovered before the midterms, yet not revealed to the nation until 2 months later. Gary Lane has the story.
After revealing that officials discovered additional classified documents, this time next to the Corvette in President Biden's Delaware home, Attorney General Merrick Garland announced he's expanding the Justice Department investigation.
I concluded that under the special counsel regulations, it was in the public interest to appoint a special counsel.
The special counsel is former U.S. District Attorney for Maryland, Robert Hur, who was appointed to that position by former President Donald Trump. Garland said he made the decision after John Lausch, the federal prosecutor initially tasked with investigating the Biden documents, determined a special counsel was warranted. The president's attorneys say they first discovered 10 classified documents last November 2nd at the private office Biden used in Penn Biden Center after he served as vice president. Some were labeled top secret, but the lawyers said Biden had inadvertently misplaced the documents. The lawyers informed the National Archives, which contacted the Department of Justice. Then Biden's lawyers notified the DOJ Wednesday they'd discovered one more classified document in the president's Wilmington, Delaware home, along with others in his garage.
Classified material next to your Corvette? What were you thinking?
I'm going to get a chance to speak on all this, God willing, soon. But as I said earlier this week, people, and by the way, my Corvette's in a locked garage.
Last September, during an interview with 60 Minutes, President Biden was asked what he thought about the classified documents kept by Donald Trump at Mar-a-Lago.
How anyone could be that irresponsible? And I thought, what data was in there that may compromise sources and methods? It's just totally irresponsible.
Republicans, including House Majority Speaker Kevin McCarthy, complained of a double standard.
Here's an individual that sat on 60 Minutes that was so concerned about President Trump's documents locked in behind, and now we find it just as a vice president keeping it for years out in the open in different locations.
Republicans say they're launching an investigation of their own, and many want to know why the classified documents were discovered before the midterms, but not revealed until 2 months later after the elections. Meanwhile, the special prosecutor is expected to convene a grand jury to question Biden lawyers and his former vice presidential staff members. And President Biden himself may also be required to testify. Gary Lane, CBN News.
These are absolutely incredible stories. And you look at it and you just can't help but laugh to say, okay, well, it's a locked garage and somehow that makes it better. Or it's a locked storage unit, somehow that makes it better. These things are absolutely incredible. But you go back to 2016 and all the things about Hillary Clinton and her private server. And yes, classified information was on her private server, which means it wasn't secure. And then somehow or other, these documents ended up on her aide's husband's laptop, which all got disclosed before the election. And a lot of people think it had an influence on it. But all the chants of lock her up that were happening in 2016, none of that came to be. And so with these cases now that you have one sitting president, one former president, having classified documents seemingly everywhere, is anything really going to happen? My prediction is no. There's going to be a lot of talk about it, though, and you're going to hear it in the news a lot. In other news, a massive storm system has caused severe damage across the South. Ephraim Graham has that story from the CBN newsroom. Ephraim?
Gordon, that system spawning tornadoes and severe winds, killing at least 7 people, including one in Georgia when a passenger died after a tree fell on a car. 6 people died in Autauga County, Alabama, as a tornado tore through the area. And in the historic city of Selma, a tornado ripped the roofs off homes and uprooted trees. The city council members there used lights from their cell phones as they held a meeting on the sidewalk to declare a state of emergency. Tens of thousands were left without power across 2 states. Turning now to a positive story, a GoFundMe campaign raised $100,000 to help an 82-year-old Walmart worker retire. Customer Roy McCarty felt called by God to take action after meeting Butch Marion in the checkout line. With Marion's blessing, McCarty started a fundraiser for him in December, and those donations started pouring in. So when the 82-year-old Navy veteran clocked out for the last time, he had a $100,000 check in hand. The Good Samaritan, Mr. McCarty tells CBN News his Christian faith inspired him to change someone's life for the better. May we all be an answer to someone's prayer. Gordon?
Now that is wonderful and wonderful news. Give, and it will be given unto you. Here's someone who gave his life, a Navy veteran, and he's still working at 82. Somebody sees it and says, no, let's make a difference. Let's be a force of good in the world. That is a great story.